Welcome to the 5th grade quarterly showcase for the 3rd quarter.
This quarter, we are working on context clues and identifying unfamiliar words in the text that we're reading. Some strategies for this are inferencing, that would be using the clues around the word. Sometimes the definition or the meaning is explained in the text around the word. Sometimes the text will give you an example. A lot of times they'll use antonyms, which is a word meaning the opposite, or sometimes they'll use a similar word or synonym. Things to help with this at home would be to talk about unfamiliar words you come across. Try to read the text around the word to see if you can find context clues that help you determine the meaning. But if you do Google the word or look it up in the dictionary, look up synonyms. Expand your vocabulary. This quarter for Reading Informational, we've been working on main idea. Students should be able to determine 2 or more main ideas of a text and explain how they are supported by key details. They should also be able to summarize the text. At home, as you read, talk about it. Ask questions. Why did the author write this? What evidence supports your idea? Can you tell me in your own words what the passage is about?
Hi, 5th grade families. This is Miss Laura. I'm going to talk to you about writing. Right now in the 3rd quarter, for writing, we are working on opinion writing and essay writing, and we're going to kind of combine the two. We're teaching the kids that they need to come up with their own claim, an opinion, provide an answer to a writing prompt, and then they will have to have 3 separate paragraphs that discuss and talk and explain their 3 reasons for why they think what they think or the answer they provide. They'll also have to include some evidence, and that can look like examples from experiences or examples from other people, or it can look like evidence from passages they read or books they read, articles they read, and they'll have to use quotations to correctly quote them within their writing. And then they will also have to have a conclusion where they restate their claim or opinion. They can also do it in a creative way or incorporate a thought or a provoking question that helps the reader think beyond what was discussed. One thing we are focusing greatly on right now is the use of figurative language, like metaphors and similes and idioms, and we want them to be able to use the figurative language to help paint pictures in people's minds, to help them get a clear view of what they're saying and what they're talking about in their writing. Vocabulary is also a very big thing that we're working on, developing their word usage. For essay writing, they will be writing essays across the curriculum, like in social studies or science. They'll be expected to respond to a prompt and to explain what they think. And it could be related to anything in science that we're learning, anything in social studies we're learning, anything in health that we're learning. So that is some of the things that we're going to be working on for the 3rd quarter this time. Thank you. So, writing at home. So some things you can do at home with your kids to develop writing is to use a more advanced vocabulary. Don't stick to the basic everyday language like happy, sad, funny. Use words like ecstatic, excited, devastated, turmoil. You could use comical, hysterical, words that will get them to broaden their vocabulary. Also, while the kids are reading, and if you're reading with them in either Spanish or English or a different language, you can discuss what the authors are doing. You can talk about an author's craft, like how an author shows their information, whether it's a story or informational writing or opinion writing. Many authors have a variety of ways to write. Some are very creative and very descriptive, even in informational texts. So point that out. Talk to them about it. Oh, look at what this author did. Well, this author's trying to tell us about cats, but look at how they did it. They did it in a way that described them instead of just told them. So that's something you can do. Also, discuss topics with your kids. Bring up anything that'll draw out people's opinions. Talk about favorite foods and favorite ice creams or things going on in the world, and have the kids provide their reasons, their examples, their explanations for it. Just have family discussions about opinions and topics and allow everybody to share. The last thing is something that I do with my own personal kids that they really enjoy. We play this analogy game where I might come up with 3 words and they have to figure out the 4th word. So I might say glove, hand, sock, and they have to come up with the other word, like foot. Obviously for 5th grade, you'd want to do a little bit more advanced. The other game that we play is called In Other Words. It's kind of something I created when my 9-year-old was really little. If they were talking or they were saying something, or, oh, look, that house is really big. And I'd be like, in other words, it's towering. In other words, it's colossal. So when you're using those words consistently and more frequently, then vocabulary will expand. So those are just a few suggestions. And it's also not bad to just keep a journal and to write things down. That's something I do myself. Just write stories down, poems down, or ideas that I can come back to later. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, this is Miss Brewer. In math for the 3rd quarter, we're going to be focusing on fractions and then some more fractions. We're going to add and subtract fractions and mixed numbers with unlike denominators. In 4th grade, they focused on common like denominators. And so we're stepping it up a little in 5th. We're going to be multiplying fractions and whole numbers by fractions. And we will be dividing whole numbers by fractions and fractions by whole numbers. We will not be dividing fractions by fractions in the 5th grade. To practice some math at home, we suggest that you get on Dreambox every day. The students are expected to do this. They should spend about 20 minutes at least per day on Dreambox. To practice fractions around the house, have them help you read recipes when you're cooking. Have them cut a recipe in half with you. Have them double a recipe with you. Count coins and talk about how it's different fractions of a dollar. Point out fractions whenever you see them in the world. Like when you're out driving and you see them on road signs saying something's 1/4 of a mile away. Point out the fractions everywhere you see them.
Hello everyone, this is Miss Ellison, and in science students are going to be learning about chemical and physical changes. At school, students are going to identify chemical and physical changes, and that's not always easy to tell one from the other, but we're going to focus on things that happen in their daily lives and in the environment around them. They're going to begin to understand that physical change is a change that can be reversed. The shape or the size of the matter has been moved around, but it hasn't been permanently altered. Think about something like making Chex Mix or trail mix. And then they're also gonna identify the basic physical changes of water, how water changes from a gas to a liquid to a solid, and vice versa. At home, students, you might want to bake a cake and discuss the chemical changes that happen in the process. You might observe the dew on the grass and discuss where it came from. And then there's a fun mystery science activity that's less than 5 minutes that explains how chemical changes make things glow in the dark. In the 3rd quarter, students will also begin to learn more about electricity and magnetism. At school, we're going to carry out investigations to become familiar with the pushes and pulls of magnets and static electricity. We're also going to help students get a basic understanding of what conditions produce a magnetic field, so they'll be building an electromagnet, and what conditions induce electric currents using a simple current. And even though we understand that electricity is the movement of electrons from one place to another, in 5th grade, we are not going to put any special emphasis on electrons or atomic structure, so they won't be building models of atoms and that kind of thing. Students are also going to gain a basic understanding of the relationship between magnetism and electricity by explaining that positive and negative charges as they repel and attract. At home, you might make a lemon battery, and if you want to know more about that, we can send you some information. You might have them make a simple circuit and test items to see which are conductors or insulators. And then watch the mystery science activity. How do batteries work?
Hello parents. For the third 9 weeks for social studies, we will be working on the following: Americans' involvement in the Second World War. We will be talking about the German aggression in Europe, the major events of the war, for example, the Pearl Harbor and the Holocaust. We will also talk about all the personalities involved in this war, the role of women and African Americans, and how this led to the formation of the United Nations. We have so many ways you can help at home to help the students master this concept. We have so many online resources that you can work on. We have the Discovery Education. We have the Studies Weekly that outline all the topics. We also have the CARB Digital Library that have so many resources that you and the students can read, watch videos, and talk about the topic. We also have the teachers who that's what we work on every day, analyzing and working with the students. There's always a brain pop and the vocabulary that also shows the videos, the pictures, and some quizzes that students can work on, understand, and explain their concept and their understanding of this topic. Thank you, and I know the students will enjoy working on this topic with you. Bye.